How's it going, guys? It's Kyle with a How To Guy 123 here, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys about file checksums, also known as file hashing or file verification. A file checksum is an algorithm which generates a unique fixed length value that represents the contents of a file. File checksums are commonly used to check the integrity and authenticity of files. Before we dive a little deeper into file checksums, let's first hear a word from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Are you concerned about your online privacy and security? Do you want to protect your personal information from prying eyes? If so, look no further than ExpressVPN. With ExpressVPN, you can browse the web anonymously and securely from anywhere in the world. With over 3,000 servers in 94 countries, you can access your favorite websites and content with lightning-fast speeds. Plus, ExpressVPN is easy to use and compatible with all of your devices. To get ExpressVPN, use my referral link, which I'll leave in the description below. And when you use my referral link, you'll get the first 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Anyways, when you download or transfer a file, there's a risk it can become corrupted or tampered with in the process. For example, when you download a file, it can become corrupted due to software, hardware, or network errors, or tampered with maliciously when hackers intercept the download of the file and replace that file with a modified version that has malware and viruses inserted into it. Additionally, if the file you are downloading is hosted on an insecure server, hackers could gain access to the server and modify the file before it's even downloaded. Essentially, verifying the file checksum just makes sure that the file you are receiving is the originally created file and that it hasn't been altered in any sort of way. The output of a hash algorithm will generate a string value in hexadecimal format. This means that you'll get a very long string that contains numbers from 0 to 9 and letters from A to F. And this string will represent the contents of a file. If you were to generate a file and then edit the file and regenerate the hash, when you compare the two hashes, they will be different. I'll show a practical example of this later on in the video. 3 common hashing algorithms used for file checksums include MD5, SHA-1, and SHA-256. The MD5 algorithm generates a 128-bit value, which is 32 characters long when converted to hexadecimal format. This algorithm was widely used in the past, but is now considered insecure due to its susceptibility for collisions. A collision is when 2 completely different files have the exact same file checksum. Collisions make it possible for attackers to create a malicious file with the exact same checksum value as the legitimate file. SHA-1 is also another hashing algorithm, and it produces a 160-bit hash value, or a value that's 40 characters long in hexadecimal. It is also now considered insecure. Although less common than MD5, SHA-1 is also vulnerable to collisions. And finally, the SHA-256 algorithm will produce a 256-bit hash value, which is 64 characters long in hexadecimal. SHA-256 is currently considered to be a secure hash function. The probability of a collision with SHA-256 is 2 to the power of negative 256, so this means you are more likely to win the lottery several times before you encounter a collision with this algorithm. These days, the SHA-256 algorithm is the most common algorithm used to generate file checksums. Anyways, let's head over to the computer and take a look at some practical applications of file checksums. First off, I'm going to download VLC and verify the file checksum of the installer so that I know I downloaded an unmodified version of the file before installing. So I'm going to click download VLC, and then my browser is going to ask where on my computer I want to save the installer. I'm just going to download it to my desktop for easy access. While VLC is downloading, you can see on the download page it says display checksum. When you click it, it will reveal the SHA-256 checksum provided by the developers for the Windows installer of VLC. If you were to download any other software, if the developers choose to provide the checksum, it should be located somewhere on the download page. For now, I'm going to copy the checksum to a notepad so that we can compare it later. VLC is now done downloading, and the installer is on my desktop. We now need to open up PowerShell. Once PowerShell is opened, we need to navigate to the folder where our VLC installer is located. So in my case, it's my desktop. When you first open up PowerShell, it puts you in your users folder. If you enter the ls command, you'll be able to see all the files and folders in your user folder. And as you can see, the desktop folder is located in the user folder. So now I can use the command cd desktop to navigate to the desktop directory in PowerShell. And now that I'm in the desktop folder, if I run the ls command one more time, the only file on my desktop is the installer for VLC. So now we can use the Get-FileHash command to get the hash or checksum for the VLC installer. So type Get-FileHash, and then the file path for the file you want to get the hash from. Next, add the algorithm flag and specify the algorithm of the hash you want to verify. So for this example, I want to find the SHA-256 hash for VLC, so I'm going to enter SHA-256. If you wanted to find the MD5 hash for your file, you would just set the parameter for the algorithm flag to MD5. If you remove the algorithm flag altogether, the Get-FileHash command will use the SHA-256 algorithm by default. But in this case, I'll specify the SHA-256 algorithm anyways. Now hit enter on your keyboard. The output of this command has given us the SHA-256 hash or checksum for the VLC installer. If we compare this checksum with the one from the VLC website, you can see that they both start with BA575 and end with 6602. This is just an easy way to check if the two hashes are the same just by eyeballing it. And I can confirm that the installer for VLC that I downloaded is original and hasn't been corrupted or modified in any sort of way. We can also compare the checksums using a batch script. I've written this fairly simple script here that will take your input and use it with the Get-FileHash command in PowerShell. It will then take the output from the Get-FileHash command and compare it with the checksum or hash you inputted from the website. I'll leave the script in the description below so that you can copy it. Just paste it into a notepad, then go to File and choose Save As. Call the file hash_check.bat, then change Save As type to All Files. I also recommend saving the script in the same location as the file you are verifying. Now head back to PowerShell and make sure that PowerShell is set to the same directory as this script and the file you want to verify. Now execute the script by typing a period and a backslash, then the name of the script. So the name of the script is hash_check.bat. Then hit enter and the program will launch. First, the program will ask for the path of the file. Since we launched the program in the same directory as the file we are verifying, you can just enter the file name and then hit enter on your keyboard. Now the program will ask you to enter an expected hash. This is the checksum provided by the developers or creator of the original file. I'll just head back to the VLC website and copy the checksum from there. Then once again hit enter. And finally, the program will ask us which algorithm we want to verify the checksum with. In this example, we're going to be using SHA-256. Once you enter the algorithm, the program will display the two checksums as well as if they match. In this example, the hashes or checksums match. I'm going to try the program one more time, but this time I'll match the checksums with a random hash. And you can see in this case that the hashes do not match. Moving on, I have one more example of file verification. I'm going to create a new text document on my desktop and call it hi.txt. Now I'm going to open the file in Notepad and write hello world inside of it. Then I'm going to save the file. Next, I'm going to head back to PowerShell and generate the checksum for this file. Now that the checksum is generated, I'm going to go back to Notepad and add some more text to this file. So I'm going to add this is a test for file checksums. And I'm going to save the file again. Now if I regenerate the checksum for this file, you can see it has changed when the file is edited. This just goes to show that the file checksum is based off the contents of the file and will change when the file is modified. Anyways, that brings us to the end of the video. If you learned something about file checksums, please leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.